All right, let's start with CARO 2020. Before we start with the actual CARO content, let me ask you something. Have you seen how an audit report looks like of any entity ever?
Yeah, a little.
Right. So if we just try to recall normally, how does an audit report look like? So in audit report, you have you have the title that it is independent auditor's report on this the company audit and for this particular period. Then the introduction para come that we have audited the accompanied financial statement of XYZ company for this financial year. It contains balance sheet, P&L, all of that, right? That is the introduction part. Then comes the there are some responsibility paras. There is a opinion para. There is a opinion para in which you express whether you are giving a qualified opinion, adverse opinion, or unmodified opinion, or you are giving like a disclaimer of opinion. So you are like, we do not express an opinion. Then comes a para which is called as basis of opinion. So why you are giving that opinion, you will have to explain in the basis of opinion. Then if there are any key audit matters, there are any emphasis of matters, so then you will include those matters also, right? So entire basically chapter 8 is about how you should include different paras in your audit report. Now, when it comes to like in India, when there are large corporation, I'm talking only about companies, right? So in case of companies, because company is a separate legal entity, right? Always. So not like every time some company does something wrong, not necessarily the promoters are going to get hurt, or the directors are going to get hurt. They can just save themselves by saying, boss, this is a separate legal entity, it doesn't have any personal liability on me, right? You have studied this in your 11th 12th, or maybe like whenever you have studied that companies are always a separate legal entity. Whereas in case of a sole proprietor, if that business does something wrong, you can just keep just get a hold of that guy whose business is that, and then you can make him personally liable, right? So think about it from this point of view, that if there is a company which is also a large company from India perspective, not from the worldwide perspective, from India economy. Like if there is a company which has a turnover, which has a share capital of 1 crore rupees, paid up share capital, that means it is a big company. The company which has a paid up share capital of 1 crore, from India perspective, it is a big company, right? So other than what any auditors report in an audit report, don't you think that there should be some more transparency about what company is doing? Why I'm telling this to you? See, if you look at the financial statement, do you really think any common man, any shareholders in India, they are going to understand everything? What is happening with the property, plant, and equipment? What is happening with the repayment schedule? What is happening with the aging schedule? What is happening is the creditor schedule? Do you really think a common man in India is able to comprehend to the entire PNL or something like that? No, they only look at the profitability, right? They don't even look at the balance sheet most of the time. They only look at the profitability, how much profit we are earning, that's it, right? So CARO has been brought up to bring more transparency in terms of the affairs of the company. In short, if you are taking money from the public, or maybe not taking money from the public, from your relatives or whatever, and you started a private company also. So whether you are a listed company or you are a private company, you need to have some transparency with the people, with the government. You are using all those resources, so you have to explain something like, how you are performing, how you are conducting your business. And this has been given as a responsibility to the auditor. That auditor, we are asking you 21 questions about your client, and you just answer it. This is like an investigation. Like, normally what happens in an investigation, there is an investigator who asks certain questions to the person who is a suspect. So it is like, consider the CARO 2020 in the same manner, that it is like 21 questions are being straightforwarded asking to the person. If the answer is yes, then okay, no problem. If the answer is no, give the details of it. So when you read the tone of CARO 2020, each of these clauses, right, you will understand this is just a question answer. Did you steal money from the temple? Yes, no. It is like your parents are asking you, right? Did you steal money from the temple? Did you take that coin from the temple? The answer is yes, no. If answer is yes, no problem. You don't have to, like, if the answer is no, you don't have to explain anything. If the answer is yes, why? What is the reason? When did you do it? What is the period? Like, since when you have actually stolen that money? This kind of thing. So if you have any wrongdoings, any wrong conduct of the business, auditor just have to explain, right? Why? And auditor will get this answer from the client. Simple. Premise is set. What CARO is doing. So what is the full form of CARO 2020? Company Audit Report Order. So it is given by the Companies Act that for if you are doing any audit or like as an auditor, so this is applicable to both of you. If you are doing any audit of a company and your company, your client meets this criteria, meets the criteria of this and this. If your client meets this criteria, then only CARO is applicable. So what did I tell you? For a small company, nobody's bothered. Like, company that doesn't have a lot of paid up share capital, that doesn't have a turnover, uske upar, like, you cannot put so much of the compliance regulation and all of that. So companies which are large in, like, in terms of India's economy, in terms of the regulatory requirement, only to those companies CARO 2020 is applicable. Now, not just if you are a small company, you are excluded. If you are a banking company, then also you are excluded from the CARO applicability. Why? I'll give you the reason. If you have seen your chapter 10, if you have seen your audit chapter 10, it is such a huge content, right? Why? Because a banking company, because they deal with the public money, they give loan to the businesses, and they are, one of the backbones of our Indian economy. There is going to be huge amount of the compliance and regulations for this company to comply with, banking company. So that is why they have not given CARO, because they have 10 other things to report in the audit report. Make sense? So banking company ko CARO nahi lagta hai. Simple. Because they have the other reporting requirements. Similarly, if you are an insurance company. So IRDAI says we have our own reporting requirement. You have to follow what we are saying. Then there are certain companies which are called as companies under Section 8 of Companies Act 2013. Do you know what these companies are about, Section 8 companies?
Charitable trusts and all.
Have you just do a little Google and to find out what are the companies operated under Section 8 of Companies Act and tell me.
NPO.
But check now, like, what all it says. Like, a simple Google will tell you.
Section 8 of company that you are studying. Charitable.
A non-profit organization that aims to promote charitable activities, art, science, education, and sports.
Food. Very good.
Correct.
I don't know that. Paid.
Right? So these are the companies who are not required to comply with the CARO requirement. So if you are the auditor of any charitable trust and all those companies, like companies which are Section 8 companies but are in the nature of charitable activities, you don't have to comply CARO over there. If it is a one-person company, OPC, again, CARO is not applicable. If it is a small company, as per Section 2, subsection 85, CARO is not applicable. But which companies is called as small company? That is something you will have to learn, because ICAI asks question on that. We will do it later. That means if we are excluding all these companies, to whom actually, like, no, CARO 2020 is applicable. So what does it say? CARO 2020 is applicable to every company, including a foreign company, as per Section 2, subsection 42. So if there is a foreign company that is registered under the Companies Act as a foreign company, they will also follow CARO 2020. Their auditor will report on CARO 2020. But banking company, insurance company, Companies operated under Section 8 of Companies Act that are excluded, OPC is excluded, small company is excluded. And there are certain more companies which are excluded. Right? Private companies. I have told you private companies, if they have if they do not have, basically if they are not that big, they don't have to follow CARO 2020. But how do we define big or small? If that private company has a paid up share capital and reserves of surplus of not more than 1 crore on a balance sheet date, not more than 1 crore as on balance sheet date, they do not have to comply with CARO 2020. So for example, you are an auditor of a company which has a paid up share capital and reserves and surplus of up to 1 CR. Don't follow CARO. Just give a simple audit report. That is fine. Can you comprehend that? If you're doing an audit of a company which has a paid up share capital and reserves of up to 1 crore as on 31st March, you don't have to prepare extra CARO report for them. Works? But
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
just look at the paid up share capital and reserves alone. Take borrowing into consider. Because sometimes companies have only, companies have paid up share capital of certain amount, but then they also borrow money from banks, public financial institutions, any like NBFC. So if that company has borrowed money up to 1 CR, again, it is considered as not so significant from the India's perspective, then also you have to ignore CARO reporting over there as an auditor. If a private company whose turnover, including the revenue from discontinued operations, is not more than 10 crore, not more than 10 crore. So if your client has paid up share capital up to 1 CR, borrowing up to 1 CR, and revenue up to 10 CR, you don't have to follow CARO 2020. But if your client has paid up share capital less than this limit, borrowing less than this limit, revenue less than this limit, do you have to follow CARO? Private company, in case of a private company, no? Agreed?
No, yeah,
But
agreed.
what if that company is a subsidiary or a holding company of a public company?
We should include CARO, ma'am.
Because if you can become a subsidiary or a holding company of a public company, listed company, then you are already big in our eyes, irrespective of your paid up share capital, borrowing, or revenue limit. So keep that thing in your mind. So even though your client has a lower turnover paid up and borrowing, but it has a holding company which is a public company, or your client itself is a public, holding company of a public company. Your client is a private company, but they are holding shares of a company which is a public company. Then you have to include that in the CARO. So how do you write that? We are writing that every company, including a foreign company, CARO is applicable except a banking company, insurance company, Section 8 company, OPC, small company, private company, not being a subsidiary or a holding company of a public company. That means this is a inclusion. So which companies are excluded? Which does not have a paid up share capital, reserves of not more than 1 crore,
More than 1
and
crore.
borrowing of not more than 1 crore
1
at any
crore.
point of time, and revenue of
10
not
crore.
more than 10 crore during the financial year. Make sense?
Works, yeah.
Right? Just remember this limit, and that's it. Isme, I have told you have to just remember one extra point about the small company, which company is called as a small company. Right? We will look into that. I don't want to give you so many things to remember just now only.
October 19, May 22, 3 times 70.
October?
Applicability, October 19, May 22, 3 times MTP.
Yeah, they ask actually applicability question is asked in the CARO. Sometimes they ask you specific, sometimes they can give you 2 questions on CARO. So one on the applicability, one on the other clause. Sometimes they'll give both the other clauses. Like sometimes they will give one question only on the applicability. So it is important because a lot of students makes mistake over there, right? How do you write the answer of a CARO? So company audit report order. So basically, this is what Companies Act has released, right? Company Audit Report Order 2020. This has two para. Like these are multiple paras actually. For CARO, we have to remember two para. Para 3 and para 4. Right? Para 4 is there also in our syllabus. And para 3 has 21 clauses which you will have to remember along with me. These 20, the list that you see is coming from para 3. So every time you write an answer, how do you write an answer? You will have to remember the clause of that particular car. Okay? Or it is easy to remember. You don't have to worry that, like, why now do I have to sit for 1 hour and to remember all the clauses? No, no. You will remember it. You will find some way till your exam to remember those clauses. It is that easy. So don't take pressure of remembering the numbers of clauses right now. But how do you write the answer of CARO? Any clause is asked. You will start it like this. As per clause, for example, you're writing clause about the clause 11, right? So as per clause 11 of para 3 of CARO 2020. As per clause 11 of para 3 of CARO 2020. Right? And then you will write the what is given in that clause. So you will have to just as it is copy what is given in that clause. Then I say will give you some case scenario, right? And then they will ask you to apply CARO. Sometimes they give you direct questions. So then you can explain only first part. But if they give you a case scenario, then you have to write like the way you write the standards answer. You will have to describe the fact of the case next, and then you will analyze and conclude what auditor has to report. Yeah.
Yeah.
You must be wondering what is this para for?
Yeah.
Do you have that in your books, para 4? Yes.
One sec, ma'am. As far as I remember, there wasn't. No, ma'am, no para 4. Section 143 of Companies Act and para 3, that's it.
No problem, but just remember.
Hmm.
In these 21 clauses are basically the questions, right, that you ask to the client, right? And you are, so basically this is your client, and when you are doing the audit, you are asking 21 clauses. And every time you are asking something, they are like, yes, yes, we have done this. Yes, yes, no problem. Yes, yes, no problem. Yes, yes, no problem. But just for any one clause, they say no. We have not complied. For any one clause or any of the clauses, or maybe more than one clauses, they said no, we do not comply with that. So you have to use para 4 and explain with reason for qualification in any of the clauses of para 3. This is not something where you need to spend a lot of time to remember. Just remember this as a general knowledge that para 4 says if the answer of any of these 21 questions in CARO is no, then you have to just explain this in para 4. Okay, this is never will be asked in the examination, but you have to just remember this. Because you are going to do the audit, you are going to look at the audit report during our articleship, so you need to know this practically. So are we done with the general introduction and everything? Shall we start with the clauses?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
can you give 1 minute just
Yeah.
to go through applicability of CARO?
Yes. I'll just stop the recording.